It was a moment that froze the world. In a televised speech, former President Donald Trump leaned into the microphone and declared, "If Iran continues its aggression, we will seize Kharg Island and control their oil exports." Instantly, news tickers flashed, diplomats scrambled, and global markets trembled. The threat was clear, loud, and unlike anything heard in years. It was not just a warning, it was a bold challenge that could change the fate of nations. The room where Trump spoke was packed with reporters. Cameras clicked, every word echoed around the globe. Oil traders in London and New York checked their screens nervously. Iranian leaders met behind closed doors. Across social media, hashtags exploded as people tried to understand what would happen next. This single statement sent a ripple through the world's economies. It was more than political drama, it was a move that could reshape the global energy market. As news spread, everyday people wondered how this would affect their gas bills, jobs, and even their safety. The threat to seize Kharg Island was not just about one country or one leader, it was about the delicate balance of global power and the oil that keeps everything running. The world held its breath, waiting for the next move. What exactly is Kharg Island? Many people had never heard its name before Trump's threat, but for those in the energy business, it is as important as Wall Street is to finance. Kharg Island sits off the coast of Iran in the Persian Gulf. It is small in size, yet huge in importance. Almost all of Iran's oil exports pass through Kharg Island. Giant ships line up at its docks, filling up with millions of barrels of oil each week. Pipes snake across the island, carrying oil from deep underground to waiting tankers. The island is heavily guarded and has survived wars and attacks before. For Iran, Kharg Island is a lifeline. Losing it would mean losing billions of dollars. This money is used not just for government projects but for hospitals, schools, and basic services. That's why Trump's threat hits so hard. The world's top oil buyers like China, India, and Europe watch Kharg Island closely. If something disrupts it, they scramble to find new sources. This makes the island a target and a treasure all at once. To understand why the threat matters, you need to know how big a role Kharg Island plays. Iran is one of the world's largest oil producers. At least 2/3 of its oil exports leave from Kharg Island. That means the island is like a faucet for the global oil supply. When oil flows smoothly from Kharg, prices are steady. If something blocks the island, prices can shoot up overnight. Every region on Earth, from Tokyo to Texas, feels the effect. Airlines, truckers, and factories all depend on steady oil supplies. Even food prices can rise if fuel costs go up. Iran also depends on oil money for its economy. If Kharg Island is threatened, Iran could lose its main source of income. This would put pressure on its leaders to respond, maybe with force. It could also make the country desperate for new allies or deals, changing politics in the Middle East. In short, Kharg Island is not just a spot on the map. It is a key part of the world's energy system, and any threat to it sends shockwaves far beyond Iran's borders. After Trump's threat, global reactions were swift. Oil prices jumped as traders feared a shortage. Stock markets from Frankfurt to Shanghai dipped, worried about higher costs and new tensions in the Middle East. Some governments urged calm, but others warned of possible military action. The United Nations called for restraint, saying that fighting over Kharg Island could spark a wider war. Meanwhile, shipping companies considered rerouting their tankers. Insurance rates for ships in the Persian Gulf soared, making it riskier and more expensive to move oil. Ordinary people felt the shock too. Gasoline prices at the pump started to climb. Airlines warned of higher ticket prices as fuel costs rose. Businesses braced for more uncertainty, not knowing if the threat would become reality or fade away. This kind of ripple effect really shows how closely the world is connected. A single island, a single sentence, can move markets, change lives, and push nations toward conflict or negotiation. This isn't the first time a threat has rocked oil markets. History is full of moments when political drama caused economic chaos. In 1973, the Arab oil embargo sent gas prices soaring and caused long lines at pumps in the United States. In 1990, Iraq's invasion of Kuwait led to a sharp oil price spike and a global recession scare. More recently, attacks on Saudi oil facilities in 2019 caused prices to jump overnight. Each event proved how sensitive the world is to threats against oil supply. Markets react not just to real attacks, but even to hints of trouble. Investors and governments watch the Persian Gulf with constant attention. They know that even rumors can shake economies. That's why Trump's statement about Kharg Island was so powerful. It reminded everyone how quickly things can change. The lesson is clear. Oil is not just a commodity, it is a foundation for the global economy, and every threat, real or imagined, can create big waves. So why make such a bold threat? Was Trump serious about seizing Kharg Island, or was it a tactic to gain leverage? In politics, words can be as powerful as actions. Leaders often use strong language to pressure others, hoping to force negotiations or show strength without actually starting a fight. This kind of strategy is called deterrence. By making a loud, clear threat, a country hopes to scare others into backing down. If it works, you get what you want without having to use force. But if the other side calls your bluff, things can get dangerous fast. Sometimes these threats are part of a bigger negotiation. They set the stage for talks, giving one side more bargaining power. Other times, they backfire, making the other side more determined to resist. Trump's statement may have been aimed at both Iran and America's allies. It showed that the United States was willing to play hardball, but it also risked pushing the region closer to war. There are clear advantages to making bold threats. They can give a leader more negotiating power. They show strength, which can deter rivals from making aggressive moves. Sometimes, just the fear of action is enough to keep peace, but there are big risks too. If the other side does not believe the threat, they may respond with force. That could start a war, spill oil into the sea, and send markets crashing. Allies might lose trust, worried that such threats hurt diplomacy and stability. Deterrence only works if both sides understand each other's signals. Misunderstandings are dangerous. If Iran thinks the United States is bluffing, it might test the threat. If the United States is actually ready to act, it could lead to a real clash. Everyone, markets, governments, even regular people, should watch for signals. Rising oil prices, sudden military moves, or new talks could mean something big is coming. In today's world, a single sentence can change everything. In the end, Trump's threat over Kharg Island is a reminder: global power, oil, and words are deeply connected. Whether this was smart strategy or dangerous talk, the world is watching and everyone will feel the impact.